Hi everyone, I am just going to add our lovely friends from Todelli social here. Live today talking all about how to eat healthy and well over Christmas. Here we are.
Hi, Francesca. We did it. We overcame all the Instagram glitches and made it happen, which is
Exactly, it's always the way.
today it's an exciting time for us that we have some time to speak with you and to kind of discuss the topic of Christmas um, dining and generally eating and how that affects everything from energy, blood sugar levels, digestion, and how our choices can be more mindful perhaps. Before we deep dive and go into that, I would like to remind everyone that, I'm Hara, I'm the founder of Todelli, and we are an ethical market online where people can find food and drinks that are good for your health, good for the planet. And this is why our mission aligns to empower, our mission to empower everyone to live better, aligns very much with what you guys do at Future Woman Francesca, which is supporting women with hormone health. And do you want to tell people a little bit about Future Women as well before we jump into the
Yeah, of
details?
course. We're a hormone testing company, so we do really comprehensive, in-depth urine testing for hormone health. So it's looking not just at your hormone levels, but also your hormone metabolism. So you get this sort of complete map and pathway of your hormones from creation all the way through detoxification. So it's brilliant for people with things like polycystic ovarian syndrome, brilliant for if you're thinking of going on HRT or you're on HRT, or even, like you just said, if you just want to live your best life. You just want to like check in on your health and your hormones, and you just want to make sure that you're sort of doing a bit of a health check as well.
That's fantastic. Yes. And I know something that I've already started feeling is, the energy levels going down as we approach the end of the year, which is true for everyone. But also, as your energy levels go lower, you have those cravings for things that are not necessarily the best for you. And you also kind of perhaps do common, not necessarily mistakes, but you change your routine, your day-to-day routine. So, is what do you think are the main challenges, perhaps, that people face during Christmas time when it comes to nutrition and choices, especially with all the alcohol a lot of people are choosing to have, sweets that are kind of surrounding us, and it's so difficult to say no to at some point.
It is. It's really hard time of year, especially, living, on the side of the world because, it's dark at 4 p.m. I think it really we get a real turnaround in our circadian rhythm and our hormones. So, not only do we have a change in our hormones from a circadian rhythm point of view, which is changing things like our serotonin and our melatonin, which changes appetite hormones, which impacts our sleep, which changes our blood sugar. So we end up a bit more dysregulated. But we also have things like lower vitamin D, which really impacts our appetite hormones and our mood. And everything from our sleep as well. So I do think we have a lot kind of going against us, and then the temptations of a sweet treat increases. There's a lot kind of
Happening at
that
the same time.
100%. And then we're probably going to more sort of Christmas functions and things where you start to just sort of get out of your routine, don't you? You might skip a meal here and there because you're having something at an odd time or an odd drink, or,
Mm.
you stay up a bit later to watch like that Christmas movie or go to that Christmas event. And so everything changes around this time of year. So I think it can be really hard for people, and they can feel quite out of control.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a common mistake sometimes is perhaps skipping a meal. To have a larger meal later on because you're preparing, you might be invited to a dinner, or you're having a bigger lunch. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So, I'm not really a fan of intermittent fasting for women in general.
Mhm.
There, of course, it would really work for, and that's kind of a form of that. So I really think if you can balance your blood sugar, it's really probably that my number one Christmas gift to people is the tip of blood sugar, because it's going to keep you stabilized. If you can just have a small breakfast, even a couple of eggs, two boiled on the go or something, just to keep your blood sugar stabilized, which is not only going to keep your blood sugar stabilized, but your mood and your energy. And then it's going to stop you from going absolutely nuts at that lunch or dinner as well. It's really probably the biggest gift you can give yourself is to skip the meals. Just opt for something really high in protein.
And high protein definitely plays a role. Do you think kind of fiber has a role within with kind of blood sugar levels as well?
Absolutely, yeah. And fiber is so incredibly important for our digestion and our good gut bacteria. As we know now that our gut bacteria influence everything from how we make our hormones to our neurotransmitters, so how good we feel, to impacting insulin and blood sugar as well. So definitely.
And how about replacing sugar with kind of low glycemic kind of options? So that would honey, I guess, be more acceptable or a better option for people when they're looking to have a little treat, but not necessarily like go all sugary?
Yeah, it's a funny one. I think around Christmas we can be really hard on ourselves as well, and there are definitely better sugar options. But at the end of the day, sugar's sugar. And so I just say don't eat naked. Make sure it's got some protein and some fat and carb with it as well. So I think that's probably better than the sauce.
Yeah.
And the time of year, because you don't want to sort of overthink too many things around that. Honey is a beautiful form of I mean, I love honey. I love beautiful benefits for you as well, especially when you get into sort of like manuka, things like that. But I do think it's about making sure it's not naked.
Yeah, absolutely. Any products that come to your mind when you're thinking Todelli as well as an option, and starting off with a breakfast that can actually help you regulate sugar levels? Do any products kind of come to mind?
Yeah, well, I was, you guys have some beautiful products, and you're probably best placed to sort of suggest some of the key ones. But I was thinking about your beautiful greens, like the spirulina and beetroot, broccoli powders and things like that. And I know they're not necessarily blood sugar balancing, and that's such a good way to start the day because yourself that nutrient hit first thing in the morning before whatever else happens.
Yeah.
That's a really nice mental thing for sitting up your day around Christmas. At least you've had like maybe a beautiful smoothie with some beautiful things in it to just sort of really, you just feel like you've done something good for yourself.
Energized. Yeah. I have to say I started my days today with some pomegranates, and I absolutely loved it. Almonds and pomegranate and a little bit of an oat butter that we have on today, just a little bit, and it was just delicious. And how about the kind of the toxins that we put in our body, throughout that period? And I guess my focus, I recently kind of became a mother, so I kind of stopped alcohol because of that. But actually, I realized how good it was for me that I haven't even thought about going back, to be honest. And now we have a huge category on Todelli, which is like the non-alcoholic drinks, which are also made with care and have very low sugar levels and so on. But I want to hear from you, like just like your perspective on alcohol and kind of what should people kind of pay attention to while they're enjoying a drink, perhaps during the Christmas time.
I have quite a strict view on alcohol from a hormone perspective, because I see day in and day out people with crazy hormone imbalances, for lack of better word, and so I have a pretty hard fast no alcohol rule if you're trying to fix something hormonally, because alcohol, especially if you're perimenopausal, if you're sort of in your late 30s, early 40s, and maybe you're starting to see signs of some of those symptoms starting to creep in, then removing alcohol can pretty much eliminate nearly all of your perimenopausal symptoms, for example, because it impacts your sleep quality. It decreases your REM sleep, so you're not getting that beautiful REM sleep. It impacts your blood sugar and your insulin sensitivity, so that you end up more sort of resistant, which impacts your mood, impacts your weight. And we're talking long term here. We're not just sort of talking maybe a couple of drinks at Christmas, but those do have a big impact. You have one drink one day and it impacts your sleep that night, and then your appetite the next day, and then your appetite hormones, you get hungrier and you don't know when you're full, and it really does have this sort of really perpetual cycle. So I think having sort of an alcohol-free, low sugar alternative so you can still enjoy it, because you don't want to be so strict at Christmas either. Life is about enjoying yourself, and you don't need to be strict all the time. It's this what you do every day that really matters. But I think those options that Todelli have are so brilliant. That's a really good option.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all about non-alcoholic nowadays as well. And I guess the third topic that it would be lovely to kind of touch base together is digestion, right? We a lot more quantities. Are there any tips, like top tips you want to give to people about what they can do to improve their digestion over those next few weeks or days, and in general, digestion advice from you?
I think that's such a good question, because we think of digestion as what we eat, not how we eat.
Okay.
And the biggest one, I think, is, where you're eating. Are you sitting down? Are you actually enjoying your meal? And I know at Christmas festive things, you're kind of eating on the go, or, like chatting to people. So just making sure you're kind of in a calm enough environment to enjoy your meal, so you're really aware of what you're eating. But it's the amount that you chew that makes such a difference, because the mouth is part of the digestive system. We secrete enzymes that start to, break down our food. And we have all these lovely teeth that need to be part of the digestive process too. So I think the general recommendation is to chew about 30 times per mouthful.
Oh, wow.
And if you start to do it, it's a lot. I sometimes will test myself. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is huge. Maybe if you're listening to this, try it your next meal and see. But then you're breaking down your food so that you can absorb the nutrients more easily. So much easier for your digestive system. So chewing your food, as simple as that sounds,
is the best advice.
Fun. And then really use some beautiful products. Like you can have something bitter before your meal, like even apple cider vinegar, or have a calming tea, like a licorice and fennel tea at the end of a big meal. Can really just sort of support your digestion too. Especially when it's the era of overfilling ourselves, isn't it? At Christmas.
Is kind of ginger based kind of products also, are they helping?
Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And then how about a quick walk as well after a meal? Is that
amazing? Really proven, a 10-minute walk can really help to stabilize your glucose after a meal. So it's just really nice sort of, if you've had a big heavy meal, have a bit of fresh air on your face. Feels good.
And I think we have a question as well from the audience where I can see about cod liver oil, because it's good for you, because it provides omega-3 kind of. No, actually, it says it is not the best. There's omega-3 supplement might be a better option. What's your view, perhaps? And perhaps we can touch base a little bit on the kind of nutritional value of oils in general.
Yeah, that's probably the question that's asked is actually a really big topic to answer. That's oils and omegas, and that's like it's a very big topic for me to answer.
A dissertation.
Yeah, whether the same support that when trying to conceive, it depends on the person, it depends on their goals, it depends on their detox ability, it depends on so many different things. I probably won't answer right now because it would take us
ages. Yes.
Somewhere else, but I think oils is a really good topic for around this time of year, because those are like some simple changes. I know you guys have some beautiful oils, just using a good quality olive oil, or some people love to use ghee and things like that. That can make a huge difference to the quality of your meal. Then, especially if you're cooking at home, you have that power and control over that to use those beautiful inflammatory oils.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you choose an olive oil, we always say choose cold pressed and kind of extra virgin, because the acidity levels are a lot lower, and kind of they're fuller in the polyphenols that our bodies kind of really benefiting from. Um, and can fermented foods help at all when it comes to, digestion and in general, kind of for, I guess not just, I don't mean have a little bit of sauerkraut before a meal and then expect to have a better a better digestion, but are probiotic and prebiotic foods kind of helping overall, even in instances where we might get out of our routine and out of our schedule, and we might have a different kind of meal
Yeah.
exception.
Yeah, they can be beautiful. I think it really depends on the person
Mm.
with foods. Like as a general rule, yes,
Yeah.
because I really personally love to use prebiotic foods in order to build up the gut from scratch, rather than just sort of throwing probiotics on top of things. So having those prebiotic foods is so beneficial for your long-term gut health and
Mm-hmm.
digestion. The thing I would caution is if you have any form of histamine intolerance,
Okay.
which we see a lot or in perimenopause, adding on more fermented foods could actually make symptoms worse, especially if it's a period of alcohol, a lot of alcohol consumption. It can just be a lot of histamine. You can get kind of flushing, maybe head
Mm-hmm.
irritability. So just be conscious if you are sort of increasing the alcohol, your perimenopausal and fermented foods, it might just
Mm-hmm.
be a bit much.
That's super useful. So perhaps for people going through perimenopause as a phase, kind of being cautious of alcohol consumption in kind of together with fermented foods, perhaps balance those two so that you don't have any kind of unexpected.
Yeah, it can just worsen some of those symptoms, especially if you're early estrogen's kind of fluctuating and high.
Mhm.
It leaves you feeling a bit rotten, really, and they don't want to feel like that when you're trying to enjoy friend and family.
It's so insightful to chat to you every single time we see your face, and I know we had a lovely panel discussion a while ago, and I hope we can do this again.
But again, it was so nice.
If we had to summarize then, and kind of say to people, these are the top three to five things you should do over Christmas period to kind of enjoy the time with your loved ones without any symptoms that are gonna kind of put you down and make you feel not well. What would you say those are?
I would say don't skip any meals.
Mm-hmm.
Just even just having a thumbs up. Even the Instagram likes it. I'd say chew your food properly.
Mm-hmm.
It may make you more aware of what and how you're eating. I would say, I mean, it's a harsh one, but ditch the alcohol.
Yeah.
Go free. It's just you'll feel so much better. You'll have better quality sleep. You'll be more present. You'll feel so much better. And I would say take rest. I think this is a period of time where we often stay up late watching like a Christmas movie, or going out to extra drinks or something. Just take, it's still a
Mm-hmm.
holiday. It's still time to work and things like that. Take a bit of rest. Enjoy it as a holiday as much as you can as well. And last but not least, I would say also just enjoy yourself. Don't be too overthink it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Do you have a secret kind of a guilty pleasure, I guess, when it comes to nutrition? What
Yes,
you're
of
eating?
course. This time of year, I have a cup of tea and some biscuit
Yeah.
obsession. Like every cup of tea, I've got to have a little wee biscuit with it. So I'd always have some almonds or something first, because I always try to have, if I'm going to have something sugary or just pure, carb, sugar, then I always try to have something protein. But I'm not too harsh on myself. I have I'll try it too. I'll have it straight after a meal, but part of the meal.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing, Francesca. It's so insightful to chat to you every time, and I'm grateful you gave us this opportunity to chat to you again. And for people who didn't have the opportunity to join now, we're going to put the live on our feed so everyone can watch it, and we might even post it on YouTube for people to
Yeah.
see there as well.
Cool. Oh, thank you so much for your time. Have a lovely, lovely Christmas
You
break.
too. Enjoy, and speak soon.
Hope so.
Thank you. Bye.